Hello, I'm XCOM.
I'm Roby.
Me and Roby decided to build a big quarry, a sand quarry. And you can see it right here behind us. There. What it's been doing is it's been running here on this test server. It's not been built on survival, but it's been designed here on creative. And we're here to showcase and show what this sand quarry is all about.
Well, we wanted to make a quarry that doesn't need duping, but still can farm sand, so you don't need to dig it manually.
You can see here the quarry almost have finished. There is a bunch of blocks missing here in this space interim here, but mostly that's because the quarry has been chewing in that sand up. When the sand kind of gets sucked up by the quarry, it falls down and falls on these rails, as you saw in the video, and they just pick up the sand. I mean, there's many different reasons to build a quarry like this, but the main one was, as Robbie explains, no duping. That means no TNT duping. So that's why you can't just blow up blocks. That's why the blocks are here on top.
Also, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. Look at this. Okay, any other quarry have made any beautiful patterns like this? It looks like. What is it? What
It's
is it?
art. Go sell it.
Exactly, it's art.
Well, we should maybe first of all mention it's based on Palla's Quarry, which you can see here.
Yeah, the backside here. You can easily.
Oh, I'm in spawn now.
Yeah, this is Palla's Quarry.
Basically, this is the output of Palla's Quarry. This line here. And from here on, we made our own conveyor system. And all of this TNT stuff is gone. The Minecart stuff is gone. Yeah, and we changed the bottom as well.
Obviously, you don't use duping. That means no TNT here. There is no movable dispensers in Vanilla. Not yet, maybe in the future. Until then, no way to actually blow up blocks. So all these blocks that are being blown up by the TNT, not possible to get rid of them. You have to somehow get rid of them in a different way. I guess we can go to the development area and just check out.
Yeah, we can go here where this is built up already. So like the main challenge is from the height where you unload the blocks, you need to put them so high up that all of your stuff from the quarry fits below like the block storage. Which is, you can see here, this is the line, the first line of blocks. And well, you need to move it so far up that this quarry stuff fits below.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't just take a bunch of blocks and push it up. That wouldn't make sense.
If you it's really difficult.
Getting rid of these blocks, it's probably possible to just push them up, straight up. But there is a problem after 12 blocks of pushing them straight up. You run into push limits. And if you want to push more than 12 blocks, which this quarry does, it pushes more than 12 blocks up into the sky, you need more tricky conveying systems.
Oh, we should also mention that we tried around and measured a bit if it's worth to only do 12 or even do 36, because the quarry does 24 or 25 in theory, but 2 segments of pistons. So this is pretty perfect for deserts.
To actually be pushing more than 24 blocks, but we stopped at 25. Or more than 25.
It's making more lag.
Exactly. Here's some concepts. We actually had to take Mango's wall pusher and incorporate that as well. So there's a part of it that has a wall pusher, and we found Mango's to be quite simplistic and useful. So we incorporated that into the design. I think we spent more hours trying to develop a way to convey blocks into the sky.
It's super difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to imagine why it's so difficult, but yeah. You need to basically pull the blocks.
This is TT's design. This was altered slightly, or quite radically actually, for the final design.
Should I move it?
Yeah, you can move it.
It's one too much, I think.
Yeah, it works. So that one pulls it,
and this one can push it up.
Yeah. So
And basically this entire thing can be pushed or pulled from one side, and it can't stick to any of this wall, which is super difficult to make stackable.
but the main problem here is that all these pistons fire unnecessarily. There is a possible chance that there is a block here, or the sand, I don't know, there's sand there instead of a block, so that this block doesn't show up. So then you actually push these pistons unnecessarily and cause a bunch of lag, but there was no way to get around that problem.
Yeah, we tried for ages to make detection, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But actually you can show it up here, because we have this piston wall.
Yeah.
We actually, for 2 extenders high, we only need that contraption once. Because right here we use the piston wall. So here we don't have a butt line, but we trigger it from pushing up pistons basically.
Yeah, just to explain
Oh, the stone.
Yeah, it's a bit unclear, but the stone come in from here, and the only way to get them actually up there is to first bend the stone upwards.
Yeah, I can mark it.
Yeah.
Stone goes like this.
So this comes in from the quarry and then goes up. And after a couple of blocks here, from this piston on, I guess. Yeah, but here comes the problem. The stone pushes it up, and after 12 blocks, you hit a cap right here. And after this cap has been reached, you need TT.
You need the huge contraptions.
Yeah, you need
because
TT's device.
Up here, this is already stone, so like people see that actually.
Yeah.
This would be stone, so you can't like do it like we have below. The observers don't work.
Yep, and that illustrates that you can actually push it up twice instead of just once, given that you can use one of these devices from TT.
But yeah, it can do 25 high, because I think in the bottom one they stay.
Yeah, but 25 means that this is the first 12, and then there's another 12, that's 24, and then the 25th is here in between. And there's a timing game to be able to achieve placing a block here in the middle. And we somehow figured that part out.
It doesn't look hard, but it's hard if you move it.
I guess we can go to the part where we actually started to develop the contraption. In depth, we had to get the timings correct. The problem comes from lag. Like, you don't want to move this quarry and just push all, like, update these butt lines. You can see the butt lines here. This is TT's device. You don't want to push the butt line or update the butt line unnecessarily, because the first 12 blocks that are being pushed up, they don't need the butt line to activate. But after 12 blocks, you have potentially a stone block here. And because the first 12 pushes don't do anything, you can use a logic system, and we had to get Pingu's help for this. Pingu had already a made device. He actually gave it to us. Thankfully, we didn't have to develop this part.
No.
What this contraption does is basically...
Yeah, it counts to 12, and like only if it counted to 12 once, the top pistons start to trigger as well. So the first 12 layers, all of these pistons are dead, and then once there could be a stone block here, they start to work. Yeah, all of that also needs timing issues, or specific timings do not make issues, but it works in the end.
And this was Roby's invention over here. The Minecart system.
Oh yeah, it's over here, it actually works. Yeah, these rails work, and then this rail is pushed like a T flip-flop basically.
Just switch tracks. Really smart device, I think.
Well, making this device is not super hard. It's hard to come up with a design that's super easy pushable.
And on the other side is simply running into the rail track here. Oh, I should say this idea with the detector rail and the powered rail, that was Roby's invention. I think the first time I've ever seen this idea and this concept. I've never been seen before in a quarry. Was this guy?
It's needed because you can't power this You could replace the terracotta, I think. I don't know if that's causing issues, but you can't power the back rail. It's impossible because you would need to mine the floor below and put blocks there, or
Yeah, it cause
on
also
top the
duping.
sand needs to fall.
Yeah, also would cause duping. Rails would dupe.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So this detection stuff makes it so you don't need to power them actively. So you need to prepare this area or this strip. There's a rail inside of here. Yeah, and how it's working. When it moves forward, it just pushes the redstone block and rail inside here.
Yeah, I guess we can just push it forward, just demonstrate it, update this.
Yeah, I can just... Yeah.
Yeah, pushes both the rail, the redstone block, and the sand falls into the hole.
Yeah, like that basically. And this is needed because once the cut comes over here, the direction makes it so it goes in this way.
Yeah, it doesn't
So
turn
this
in the right direction.
makes it, yeah, this makes it stop. And as well, place the sand. So this rail here, in the next, when it arrives over here, has a block to stay on.
Yeah, I should mention, given that rails are directional, you might think that you can just rotate the quarry in the correct direction so that you have the rail problem solved. But that's not possible because Palla's quarry is very directional. It only works, I think it's only directional of south.
Or why we made it like this at the end instead. You only need to mine this tunnel. Pretty small. I think like this needs to be a tunnel.
Oh yeah, this quarry requires some preparation.
Yeah.
And you can obviously see too high here.
You need to mine out too high and need to have a solid floor for the rails.
This sand over here is a safety guard, so in case someone forgets like to mine a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sand kind of falls.
Kind of smart.
Yeah, falls into this hole.
Fixes itself and prevents breakage for a few blocks.
Yeah, because if these rails, they need to float on top of, they can't float. If there's a hole here, and this rail gets pushed over this hole, that causes issues.
We tested for really long because most minecart systems break, but I think because this is like a bit longer over this way, they like can never get inside each other.
Yeah, it looks very trippy, but that's because of Minecart. Oh.
OP.
I guess. I guess it doesn't work as you said. But there's a reason that this does work with a quarry. I mean,
yeah. Oh, I think the track needs to be a certain length or whatever.
If you go back to the quarry, there's a minecart pest dispenser here, and
that also fixes it. Yeah.
Yeah. There is only a limited number of minecarts that are inside of this pest dispenser, and they're being dispensed very seldomly.
Yeah, basically we just demonstrated the problem you can have if you have too many minecarts. After like a million cycles, they start to get inside each other. Yeah. I don't know what this broke right now, but fine.
Yeah. There's also one last little detail on this side, and there's a redstone line. And you can see here on the side there is an observer that triggers the redstone line, and that is to help the minecart system stop being pushed into the quarry, because when the quarry pushes forward that could cause issues. So there is a redstone line here just to make sure that whenever this redstone line activates, the quarry stops dispensing minecarts. So the quarry can freely move forward without having a minecart in the track. Yeah, and there's a small logic for it.
We should maybe also mention it's way easier to make this bottom system if you allow yourself more space than 2 blocks. This only having 2 blocks that you need to mine out makes it super hard.
Yeah, the only part that requires a little bit more digging is this section over here. I believe this section requires 3 high.
Yeah, we just made it for high. I mean, this small area is no problem.
Yeah, this is just a small tunnel on the side of the quarry. just this section over here.
But like the quarry itself is only 2.
Yeah.
Because digging a 400 red quarry and then 4 high is almost
Yeah.
as much effort as mining all the sand.
Yeah, exactly. So the gist is that the preparations of the quarry, the build effort of the quarry is meant to be negligible, given that the quarry can travel for a very long amount of distance. But the problem is every block mined needs to be prepared underside. That's why, yeah, as Robbie said, can't just make the underside too much effort. There we go.
So let's turn it on.
You just turn it on by updating the observer. Here we go. Yeah, you saw it in the video just a minute ago. The blocks are grabbed. This is not new. This is based on Palla's Quarry, but
The sand falls.
Yeah, and then the block conveyors even do gravel, so you can also collect some gravel. But given that, yeah, the sand
as I
is the
said,
main
in
part. Yeah.
theory, you could quarry the entire world from like top to bottom if you have enough of these extenders, but it's getting super laggy. And for gravel, it's really not worth it. Now it's moving, I think.
Oh, here we go.
So like now it reached the bottom, the stations go up. Over here is a delay. And if that's reached, the bottom part goes up as well. Yeah, now it moved forward, the bottom. All of this moved. And the return stations, however you want to call them, go up again.
Yeah, exactly. It's a part of Palace Quarry, so this back part, I suppose if you've seen Palace Quarry, you've always seen it. If you haven't, you should definitely check that quarry out. But what's new is basically everything else that isn't part of the TNT duplication system.
Now the entire system is moving. All the blocks get moved. And I think it's done already.
Nah, there's still Pingu's section up top that's moving.
Oh yeah.
And the block grabbers still are moving.
Now it finished. What we should maybe mention is that animals can break the quarry if they fall on the track. So before you start the quarry, you should try to get rid of all animals.
That's why there is fence here at top.
Yeah, but because the wall collapses sometimes doesn't work.
I guess there will be a world download in the description, just so you can check it out.
In case someone is wondering, I mean, this world is empty, but it's running at 5 MSPT right now.
Oh yeah, very, very lag efficient. Let's just look at the TPS. It's running at 5 or 6 ms. And what is the server's property?
It's a 4770.
Yeah, it spikes to 20 to 30 ms.
That's when it's moving. Or 5 minutes per slice?
Cycle time is 10 minutes.
Oh.
Cycle time. Yeah, every 10 minutes there's a small spike.
Oh yeah, in case you want to make the quarry longer, you also need to adjust the minecart system. But I guess if you're smart enough to stack it, you should be able to figure that out.
Yeah, there's a logic here at the minecart system.
Let's go ask one of us.
Yeah. Hopefully someone will download this quarry and build it and use it and not dupe sand. Duping is bad.
Oh, yeah, in case you're wondering, you can turn it off the same way you turn it on.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, that's really good. Spamming it is not good.
Rip quarry. I think we calculated for 400 something wide, it should be 200k a day.
1000 sand per hour per 100 blocks wide quarry?
Oh yeah, that might be.
Yeah, so for every block is like one...
Yeah, I mean, it highly depends on your desert.
Yeah, exactly. On average, though, this one slice collects roughly 10 sand per hour.
No, way more. Oh, you mean
Yeah, just
one?
one slice.
Yeah.
This one slice over here. If you just take this one
Yeah.
slice.
Okay, that might make sense.
Yeah, that's mostly because you don't always get sand, and you need to also cut off the top part of your world. You can't have sand sticking out too high, because if you have sand higher than the quarry itself, you will have issues. Top recommended size of quarry is 420, because it's modular by 420. So, and it's render distance 16 and everything. So I highly recommend. Is there anything else, Roby?
No. Time to blow it up.
We keep talking about finishing. And just keep figuring out new stupid things about it. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's it. If you actually are interested in building this quarry, just contact me and Roby. Roby is going to be your personal
No, you.
personal guide towards building this thing. So
TT on SC is always good.
yeah, TT too. Contact TT. There will be TT's Discord in the description. Contact TT if you have any questions.
To put his Facebook.
Okay, I'm gonna put TT's Facebook in the description. You can contact TT. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.